It may sound like science fiction, but air taxis are no longer just an idea. Competition is already underway to get this industry off the ground. Here to talk about the air taxi race and a new leader in the program is MarketBeat analyst Jea Yu. Jay, we talked last month about Archer Aviation and their plans to start manufacturing more air taxis this year, building their own plant, and then getting their air taxi program off the ground in 2026. But there is another market leader who has a plan to start even sooner than that.
Yes, Joby Aviation actually has a first mover advantage. They've been testing their prototype a lot longer. They've already put in 33,000 miles. They are in stage 4 of their 5-stage certification process with the FAA. They are looking to launch their air taxi network in 2025. They want to start off with New York, LA, and Dubai.
That is not far off either. That's next year already. But I'm sure the certification process is really one of the things still up in the air about whether this program will take off on the timeline they're hoping.
Absolutely. The FAA certification is the wild card. Now, they are in stage 4 right now of the 5-stage certification process. They're about 37% through. The FAA is about 14% through. It takes both the eVTOL maker and the FAA. They both are involved in the process. In stage 5, they're only about 2% through. But once they get through the 5-stage certification, then it's on to commercialization.
Well, let's talk about what commercialization is actually going to look like for consumers, especially. It sounds like this program is going to function just like taxis or rideshare service. In fact, Joby is actually partnering with Uber for this project.
Right, in 2020, Joby actually acquired Uber Elevate, which was Uber's own air taxi division. And by bringing on the Uber Elevate team, they helped to program its software program called Elevate OS. And this software infrastructure also has a rider app, just like the Uber app, and a pilot app. And the engine will go ahead and match the riders with the pilots, with the eVTOL destination flights. And in fact, Uber has already integrated it into their app that they've been testing, where it will basically involve the whole travel sequence. So you'll be able to order your Uber ride or a air taxi to the airport. You'll be able to actually book your flights or book your Delta flights as well. And then once you get to the airport, once you land, you'll once again be able to book your Uber rides, air taxis, or whatever destination you want to go to.
Yeah, it sounds like a very familiar process, just like the Uber you might use right now. The only difference with this air taxi program, it would be a lot faster for consumers.
Absolutely. Their S4 prototype can go up to about 200 miles per hour. It's operated by one pilot, and it can accommodate up to 4 passengers.
And their goal is to get your travel time down quite a bit. Talk about that, Jay.
Sure. They want to basically shrink maybe a 45-minute car ride down to a 7-minute air taxi ride.
That would be a big time save for a lot of people, especially in those metropolitan areas. But I think to make this program successful, they really need to have a lot of air taxis available. Let's move into manufacturing. What is Joby doing to get enough of these to start this program successfully?
So Joby's been partnered with Toyota, who also happens to be their largest outside shareholder. Toyota's already invested about $400 million. They will be providing a lot of the components, the powertrain, and also advising them on their whole manufacturing process. Joby wants to be a completely vertically integrated manufacturer of eVTOLs.
Now, their current model that they're manufacturing right now, this is the one that's for those shorter commutes, getting you across New York to JFK Airport in a really quick time frame. But talk about the future plans this company has for air taxis, maybe going a little bit further than just those, in-city commutes.
Well, electric aircraft, eVTOLs, are ideal for congested city traffic and the suburbs. But Joby is actually looking to go even further than that and provide regional flights, regional air taxis. So they've actually created a first of its kind, a hydrogen eVTOL, which is outfitted with a whole hydrogen fuel system and 40 kilograms of liquid hydrogen. And they put it on a flight and they ran it for 523 miles, which is a world record, just to prove that it is possible to be able to handle regional flights when you have a hydrogen fuel system. And it's something that they're looking to launch down the road, so that you can take an air taxi actually from Boston to New York, or from New York to Washington D.C., Detroit to Nashville. This is their long-term plan.
It's all exciting plans to hear, but right now it's still just an idea. This program hasn't taken off yet. So talk about what that means for investors who might be looking into Joby stock as an investment opportunity. What should they expect for this kind of a speculative buy, as you call it?
Yes, this stock is absolutely speculative. You should only be using risk capital, really money you can burn, because this is a pre-revenue company. So if you are interested, you can take a look at the candlestick chart and be aware of the descending triangle pattern, which is comprised of lower highs. After Joby made its recent swing high at 769, all the bounces have been smaller and smaller and smaller. So that's known as a descending trend line. That's a descending upper trend line, meeting a flat bottom support. It's a horizontal trend line. So when you connect those lines, it forms what's known as a descending triangle pattern. Joby has found support pretty much around the 5 area. So if it breaks down under 5, then there's potential pullback support areas that are in the article that investors can look at to consider taking a position if they know that it is a high risk speculation. They could also consider using an option strategy that will basically force them to wait for a pullback. A cash secured put can be used. If you want to limit the amount of your investment, you could always consider taking long calls for a fraction of the price of the stock. But the strategies are available.
Some great tools for investors as always, Jay, and a really interesting dive into this speculative stock that I think everyone is excited to see if they can actually pull it off. It'll be a game changer for sure. Thanks again for this deep dive into Joby Aviation. Stick with MarketBeat as we continue to follow this stock and many others. As always, happy investing.